my name is Claire and this is my channel Claire's Footsteps, and in this video I am going to be boarding a Ryanair flight from Bristol in the UK to Wrocław, hope I've said that right, in Poland. Now, I've flown Ryanair quite a lot of times before. I think any Brit who likes to go over to Europe quite a lot is probably no stranger to Ryanair, but it has been voted Europe's worst airline. In many ways I do agree with this. The seats are uncomfortable, I just heard it didn't like cattle, the service is never amazing, but is it really as bad as people say? I've always had mixed experiences with it, but often I do think that you can't go wrong for the price. But today I'm going to show you exactly what flying on Europe's worst airline is like and go through my flight with you. One of the ways that you can make sure your Ryanair experience isn't so bad is by just preparing effectively. So basically, when you go and book, they will ask you if you want to add overhead luggage and hold luggage. If you select no to these, you only have a very small underseat bag. This is what I'm travelling with because I refuse to give Ryanair any more of my money, so I am travelling for the next 9 days with this bag. So you have to pack right, which is why I did a whole video, my last video that was up, all about packing for Ryanair, so make sure you check that one out as well. But the other thing that you should do is download the Ryanair app. Oh, I already have it. So this is the Ryanair app, and if I'm logged in I should be able to see my details for my flight tomorrow. Perfect. Yes, I can see here I'm flying Bristol to Wrocław. Flight's on time so far, so that's good. And I can, if I would like to, check in. Now, I did see a hack recently from Cheap Holiday Expert. She is on Instagram. Do give her a follow, she's great. She does loads and loads of like cheap holiday hacks and things. So I did see a tip from her recently saying that you should wait until last minute to check in, because quite often they will already allocate the middle seat, so you'll be left with a window or an aisle. But I don't know, I always feel a bit nervy about doing that. I feel like I'm going to forget or something, so I think I might check in now and just hope that the seat gods will be kind to me. Okay, so I can now actually see the seats available, but I need to pay £7 for a standard seat or £13.50 for an extra legroom seat or £9.50 for a front seat. There aren't many middle seats left. Oh, there's a few actually. So the thing is Ryanair is probably going to try and put me in a middle seat. Ah, okay. Actually, I can't check in now because my flight is in 25 hours. And I can get a random seat for free within 24 hours of my flight, so I'm going to have to do that in a little bit. Hello, so I'm about to leave in half an hour. I did check in first thing this morning. I woke up and I checked the seats that were available on my app, and not that many seats were available, so I decided to check in then. Luckily the seat gods were kind to me and gave me a window seat, so I've got a window seat, that's all good. But yeah, like I mentioned, checking on the app, it's really easy. You just input your passport details and then you get your boarding pass on your phone and you can add it to your Google or Apple wallet. So I've got all of that sorted, and yeah, just about to leave and head to the station. Top tip if you're flying from most UK airports, save some money and don't actually get dropped off at the airport, get dropped off near the airport. So in Bristol I always get dropped off, I get an Uber to the airport tavern, it's called, which is a nearby like pub guest house, and it's a 10-minute walk from there to the terminal, and it saves £5 to £10 on an Uber ride. And like I say, when I fly Ryanair, I'm travelling on a budget anyway, and I want to keep saving money, so that's one of the ways I do it. I did go to the lounge when I got to the airport, which doesn't seem very budget of me, but I got free passes with my AMEX. I'll put some information about that in the description. Alright, so I've just been in the airport lounge for a while, and now I'm about to board my Ryanair flight. I always hate when the gates are announced. I mean, this is like any airline, but I always hate when the gates are announced and then you've got quite a long walk till you to actually get to the gate. But I think it's just here. Often if you buy a larger bag, you'll get Ryanair priority boarding. Obviously this wasn't me today, so I had to get right to the back of the line. We went through to the gate waiting area, and then they quite quickly called everyone to get on the plane. Priority and non-priority people got muddled up at this point, so I definitely wouldn't book priority just for the priority boarding. Boarding now, no complaints yet, kind of what you expect for budget airlines, but we'll see on the flight. Because it was so cold outside, they had to de-ice the plane before we left. We left about 10-15 minutes delayed, so not too bad. It was a really nice clear takeoff actually, and for once I got some great views of England as we flew. You can even see over to Wales there. Saw the city of Bristol, and then about 10 minutes later we saw London as well. Now, this was a very full flight, so I think you're going to have a voiceover seat tour rather than me actually recording it while I was on the flight, as there were two people next to me. So, as you can see, the leg room was okay, but I am very short, so I can't really give an accurate description of it. We had a tray table. You don't get an under-seat pocket with Ryanair, which is can be a bit inconvenient actually, but the tray table operates. This one was a bit dirty. Other than that, that is all you're getting for your seat. No recline. You shouldn't recline anyway because there's not much leg room for taller people. And yeah, no other frills at all. The menu was actually all on the Ryanair app, so do remember to download this before you get on the flight. Although that said, I'm sure they would give you a menu if you were going to buy some food. So I had a little look at the prices. I didn't buy anything, but yeah, it's €10.99 for a sandwich, crisps and a drink, which is more expensive than Boots, let's just say. So I would always recommend getting your food before you fly on Ryanair, especially if you're flying from the UK, because our Boots meal deals in the airport are still really good. But you can get all sorts. Alcohol wasn't too expensive, about £6.50 for a glass of wine, cheaper than what you pay in London these days, isn't it? So yeah, it's a bit mixed. If you absolutely need to get something, it's not going to bankrupt you, but it's usually quicker to prepare ahead, and usually you can get nicer things if you buy them at the airport as well. The flight went really, really quickly. I read my book, had a nap, and then before long we were landing in Wroclaw.
Just a smoke or vape, please refer from do so.
Oh, and there's a Wizz Air plane there, which may be an airline I like worse than Ryanair. So it took a while to get off this. It was a bit hectic for some reason. I think everyone was just really keen to get there. And then we got off the plane to a very snowy Poland. So we had to get off and walk to the terminal. It wasn't that far. Went through immigration, and then I arrived outside at this very festive looking station. Alright, touchdown Wroclaw. It looks so Christmassy and snowy here. Updates to come on how the Ryanair flight was. It wasn't too bad, but I'm just currently waiting for an Uber. And maybe that's my Uber. Alright, I've checked into my hotel. It has just gone 8:30 and I am so hungry. So I'm gonna just venture out and see if I can find something to eat. I was gonna order in, but everything was gonna take up to 90 minutes and there was no like live tracking, which I didn't really want to do. So yeah, I'm gonna head out, and I think where I'm staying, it seems like there are kitchens I can use. So I think I might literally go to the shop, buy some pierogi, which are the Polish dumplings, and heat them up in the kitchen. Gonna see if that is possible. I ended up cooking pierogi in the dark on a stove that kept turning off, but I got some food eventually. Oh, I'm rather overwhelmed. I've just had a bit of a chaotic time trying to work up the communal kitchen, but I'm here with a bowl of pierogi and I'm gonna eat these, and then I will finish my Ryanair review and I'll go into what went on in a bit more detail. But I'm very hungry now, I need to eat. Alright, I feel very official sitting at this desk, but I've just had my dinner of pierogi. That was actually quite a good shout because I was looking on orders, like looking to order something in, but it was going to end up being like £15 and it was going to take like 60 to 90 minutes, it was saying. So I went downstairs and I was going to go to a shop a 5-minute walk away, and then I went into the lobby of this place I'm staying, and they had one of those shops where you input your card details and then you just take what you want and then you leave, and then the cameras like register you and it charges you. I've never used one before. Like, I know they do have the Amazon Fresh stores in London, but I live in rural England and we don't have that kind of thing there. And Poland's so high tech, like I was trying to work out what it is. Like, you know, I was like trying to work everything out. And the place I'm staying, I'm gonna talk a bit more about it in the next video, but it's actually like a student halls, but like a very nice modern student halls. And then there was this guy behind me, and he was obviously like a student who was like quite like technically savvy, and I was just there like trying to work out how to do this. I was like, what is this? Like, we did not have this when I was at uni. And then he just zipped in and just like took a water and zipped out, and I was like, oh, is that how you do it? Anyway, I got some pierogi from there. Then took the pierogi up to, they have communal kitchens here, and then I spent so long trying to work out how to use this induction stove. I didn't work it in the end, like I ended up, it kept turning itself off, so I just had to make sure I kept turning it back on. But I had some semi-warm pierogi in the end, and they were very delicious even though they were only semi-warm. So I'm feeling a little bit more full now. I've also got a Kit Kat, which I'm going to eat in a minute. Anyway, let me get back to this Ryanair review, which is why I am doing this video anyway. Sorry for my off ramblings, but do check out my next video, which will be all about Wroclaw, where I will talk much more about this city and this student halls that I'm appear to be in. So, Ryanair. The flight was absolutely fine. Like, I had a window seat, it was less than 2 hours. It's cramped, don't get me wrong. I had my bag, my underseat bag, under the seat, and then I also had a few of my layers that I was wearing also under the seat. I do have very short legs, so I feel like I'm not the one to really comment on leg room for things, because I don't need as much leg room as a lot of other people. My partner is 6'4", sorry, and he does struggle a lot with leg room. So he finds all budget airlines to not have great leg room, and he tries to get extra legroom seats when he can. And I feel very bad if I then get a seat next to him, because I really don't need the extra legroom seats. But other than that, I mean, I wouldn't say I love Ryanair, but I also wouldn't say that, you know, I keep flying it. Today everything went well. Even though the weather was cold, everything still went well. They had to de-ice the plane, and I think we were about 10 minutes late taking off, but that's nothing really. So yeah, everything went well today, but sometimes if there are delays, they can be a bit rubbish. And there are delays fairly often, I'd say, with Ryanair. I'd say probably about half the planes I take have like half an hour delay or more. But I think Ryanair, I think it's the same as all budget airlines. Like, if you go in and you know what you're getting, you know what to expect, you do all your prep, you pack make sure you've only got your underseat bag, you make sure you've checked in online, got the app or printed out a boarding pass, then you can't really argue with the price. Like, you do really get what you pay for. So I think that's my verdict with Ryanair. Like, I will continue flying Ryanair when they are the best option. One reason why I sometimes don't fly as many budget airlines, or like when I fly back to the UK, I'm flying back with BA, is because I don't live near the London airports where they fly from. The budget airlines in London fly from Luton and Stansted, which are nowhere near London really. And my easiest London airport by far is Heathrow, because there's a direct bus from Heathrow back to Exeter, which is near where I live. Heathrow doesn't really do budget carriers. However, Bristol does have some EasyJet and Ryanair flights, so I do fly from Bristol with them sometimes. So that is another thing about low-cost carriers. A lot of the time, like, that's not unique to London, a lot of the time they will fly to the airport that's really, really far away from the city. So that's also another thing to bear in mind when you're taking any low-cost carriers. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like I say, it is what it is on the tin. It is what it is on the tin. It is what it says on the tin. Like, you know what you're gonna get, you know what to expect. Sometimes it can be worse than others. Today was a good flight. I've definitely had flights with them where I thought I'm not flying Ryanair again, but then I always do, because I see these very cheap prices and they lure me in. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna try and edit this video now so I can have it up for Vlogmas Day 2, which is tomorrow. And I guess I'll start recording this video about Wroclaw tomorrow. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.